Yo, what is going on, guys? I am your host, Eddie Lynch. You're now entering, I believe, the 10th edition or the 11th edition of the Eduardo Asylum. So here we are, guys. We're hitting milestones. So, last Smackdown of 2016, and it came off with a good note. There were only 3 matches on the show, but they were all very good. So, let's get started. John Cena comes out and starts talking about, I missed the hell out of this. And he starts talking about the passion that he still has for the WWE. And then he came to the announcement that whoever he wrestles or whoever wins the triple threat tonight, he will be facing at Royal Rumble. And he started saying that, he started giving kind of this almost heelish promo, talking about how he's the man now. Or he didn't say that outright, but he just started saying, like, he's the man and you all have to respect the name John Cena because of everything the guy's accomplished. And it was, it's getting even closer to that heel run that we're all seeing. And I was convinced that the guy was turning heel tonight. Of course he didn't. So chances are we're going to see John Cena, turn heel, or chances are this is going to be the closest we'll see to him being a heel. So, I don't expect him to go heel for this feud because AJ Styles is a heel, and I guess I just spoiled the main event. But hey, if you didn't check out Raw by now, or Smackdown by now, well then, that's your fault. Anyway, AJ Styles, he doesn't come out, so I don't know why I'm saying his name. Boy. So John Cena basically said that, and whoever doesn't like it has to respect it. Too bad. And it was just such a different John Cena promo than what I'm used to. Of course, then again, when you see the John Cena promos that he's cut for 10 years straight of Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, all this other stuff, it's just, wow, it's different. Just like what the first time he started saying, I'm the face that runs the place and people have to go through me, it was surreal. And now here we go. He's becoming even more surreal. He started talking about the new era, how it's not going to be the new era. It's going to be the My Time Is Now era again. So there goes Cena going to be on top again. Alright, so finally we get the 4-corner elimination tag title match, and American Alpha here, let me tell you something, they shined in this match like nobody's business. They put on the most in this match. Like, for both the first and second half of the match, they were in the most. Then there was Slater and Rhino, who also shined a lot. Slater more than Rhino. And then there was also the Usos. Slater and Rhino were the first to go with, I believe Jimmy Uso was the one who gave the super kick, and Slater, he just did an insane kind of bump. He sold that super kick like a champ, and basically he was out the building. What else could I say? Orton and Harper were not really even in the match for the first half of the match. Orton, to me, like, when I saw him, it just, he kind of didn't seem like he was, like, even into the match. He just kind of seemed like, checked out and stuff. It was just like, it just wasn't, it was like we're seeing him from 2012 again. He just kind of seemed, I don't know, off his game today. That's not to say he was really bad, because Harper, he busted his ass in this match. Everybody else busted their asses in this match, but Randy just kind of seemed slow, kind of sluggish. Because again, he wasn't even in the first half of the match for that long. Do I think that's, to me, I was fine with it because he wasn't even in the ring that much, like I said. Um, okay, so next the Usos were were the next to go. Um, American Alpha eliminating them, and then of course the Usos attack American Alpha next. And just when I thought this was going to be over, the match still goes on with some back and forth action, and and what's it called? There's one spot in particular um where Chad Gable gives this bridging German suplex, and Harper, I don't know if my eyes deceived me while I was working out, but I noticed he like landed right on his head, not like in between his shoulders, just like spiked on his head. I thought that was crazy to see. Harper's put on some technical prowess, showing that he's not just one dimension. Good for him. And anyway, the match goes on for about an extra 5-6 minutes, and this was a long match, by the way. This had to go at least 25 to 30 minutes. That's my prediction on it. If I'm somehow wrong and it goes under 25 minutes and it's somehow 23, 22, I'll be fine with that. If it's 20 minutes or lower, then I'll feel stupid. But I'm predicting that this match went at least 25 minutes. But anyway, finally Luke Harper was out of the ring, and this was surreal to see to me. I did not expect to see this, but anyway, there was a miscommunication with Orton and Harper, and Jason Jordan capitalizes by rushing him into the corner. Jason Jordan tags Chad Gable, and then they go for the Grand Amplitude, and 1, 2, 3, they pinned Randy Orton. They pinned Randy freaking Orton. The guy who, as JBL constantly likes to remind us, is a former 13-time WWE champ. And I was just like, what a hell of a way to put over American Alpha than to have one of the company's top stars to be pinned by these young guys. And I was so happy because when I was looking at this match, I was like, there is no way in hell this was going to happen. I was just shaking my head thinking, no way in hell was this going to happen. And you know what? I was shocked. I was like, okay, good match from you guys. All right, so next we had a backstage segment where as I'm looking at the results sheets, because I have to really remember the names here. So Daisha Fuentes was the girl's name. She went to knock on the door, and can I just say one thing? Miz has one hell of a gimmick. Like this is going above and beyond with his character. So he has security. He has a big ass locker room, and it's like the locker room doors are made of steel and stuff, or chrome. I don't know what you call it. So you see Maurice comes out, just stares her up and down, and then gets the Miz, and the Miz says, "No, I don't want you to ask me anything. I want that unprofessional journalist, Renee Young, to get the thing, to get to me." And I thought that was just cherry on the top. Like how cool is this? Like most locker rooms you see backstage, it's just a simple door. Even John Cena, from what I've seen, hasn't had that, the flashy stuff. Like just a simple door is what he has. No. Miz has a big ass locker room with 2 wide ass doors, and wow, I was just like, and he bitches out the general manager all the time, heckles him, and it's just it's interesting to see this character. He really comes off as a spoiled brat. But anyway, that was a little segment. The only reason I brought up that backstage segment was for that specific reason. And next we had another backstage segment with I forget who the other lady's name is because it's not showing up here. Anyway, she asks him questions about his appearance and how people are bullying him about it. And Carmella comes out and basically puts the other lady in her place and says, "You're making him you're making him feel bad as well. You're basically shaming him by asking those questions, and you know, just made the whole thing ironic." And Carmella so and took him under his arm, and so I saw this actually last week where apparently the two were paired together in a backstage segment. So I guess it was true. I missed Smackdown last week and I didn't really catch back up to it. So anyway, honestly, when I think about this pairing, I don't know whether to feel like should I be excited about this? I don't know what to feel about this because honestly, I'm predicting one of two things will happen here. So Carmella's gonna betray him, or she's gonna remain face. But she came fresh off of a storyline with Nikki and Natalia, so how she's a face here but heel later, it makes no sense to me. It was like how could I relate this? Because I remember another guy did this before, who was also a manager. He played a heel, but then played a face later. I think it was Paul Heyman. He played a heel for when he was with Lesnar, and then he played a face for when he was with somebody else. It was either him or I don't know who, but anyway, it was just like, this reminded me of that type of role, and I wonder who that was. So if anybody could, let me know, please do. But getting back to it, I don't know what to feel about this. This kind of seems predictable to me. I don't see this this pairing lasting too long. But hey, if it gets Carmella's screen time, I'm totally fine with it. Let's get to the next match. We had Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch, and I love this match. Well, I love this match for the spots that they got right. So, yeah. Normally, I'm used to saying I love this match, but honestly, this match was, it had its hits and it had its misses here. I know when Mauro Ranallo called this, and I think even JBL said this as well. They said that these two women know each other so well, and honestly, no, they don't. Because you look at some of their matches right here. So like their first match, they were new to each other. They haven't worked before, not to my knowledge anyway. They had a few botches here and there. It was like one or two mistakes. Okay, big deal. Next match they had, same thing, kind of but it was still, better than the last one. And they had their match at No Mercy, which was the tables match. No, that was TLC. Okay, so that was a better match. And then they had a match 2 weeks ago, which was really good, really technically sound, no botches. Really enjoyed it. And then I didn't catch their match last week, so I don't know what to say to that. Anyway, it was just like 2 weeks. They did all this work, and just leading to this match right here. I don't understand how this wasn't their best match, because you're looking at this match, and I'm seeing spots that are botched from both of these ladies here. Nobody loves Becky Lynch more than I do. But when I see Becky Lynch, charging into Alexa Bliss, only to see that she's going for one spot, and then suddenly she changes it to another spot, and the whole thing just looks rushed. It looks sloppy, and I'm just like, ah. But you know, for the most part, there was like 3 to 4 spots that were missed in this match, but then there were spots in this match that were really, really good. Like, they started out really, really solid, because the technical wrestling, as everybody knows, I'm a big fan of technical wrestling, coming from, high school wrestling. It's just, it's just my background. So from what I see, I enjoy, really sick stuff. Like Becky Lynch, she brought back some moves that I had not seen since her NXT days. She brought back that Celtic Cloverleaf. So for those that don't know, that was her previous finisher before this. Then she brought back the Matrix Escape, which she uses every now and again these days, but used to use it a lot. Alexa Bliss used her blissful curb stomps. So they both had their moments here and there. I thought they were kind of through with this stigma of their clunkiness, because they clearly don't know each other. So getting back to what I was saying here, when Mauro Ranallo and JBL says, these two women know each other so well, this is the type of thing where these guys should not be throwing lines like that, especially when you see how often these two women just don't have chemistry, And like I said, nobody loves Becky Lynch more than I do, but when I see stuff like that, it disappoints me, And I hate to see that, But anyway, the match was good. Not great, but it was good. Alexa Bliss, in the middle of the match. Oh boy. So Alexa Bliss, dislocated her arm. And honestly, with the way this match finished, I do think it was, the injury was legit. Becky Lynch, I guess, must have pulled her, when she went for this one spot where she had her arm trapped in her legs, and then she whiplashed her arm back. I don't really know what the move is called here. It's a move you guys have seen for a while, many times here. But anyway, okay, let me just go over the story of this. So Becky Lynch goes for that move that I described here. Then La Luchadora comes out. So the La Luchadora comes out and basically screws over Becky Lynch. And I'm predicting, I don't know who this woman is, but most likely it'll be Eva Marie, which I could see it being, because let's face it, all the other women are in storylines and Naomi's gone missing. But I'll get into what Bliss said after the match. Okay, so La Luchadora comes out. We saw a disarmer from Alexa Bliss, or from Becky Lynch onto Alexa Bliss, and that's when you see Alexa Bliss. She shows the ref her arm; it's all popped out, and the ref is checking on her. And that's when they had to cover the new finish with, which I'm sure was the old finish, but they had to, abruptly start the new finish with Becky Lynch going over to La Luchadora, and she throws Becky's head onto the steel post, and Alexa Bliss capitalizes onto a DDT and, wins 1, 2, 3. Now, listen, I had a theory before this that Alexa Bliss is, purposely popped out her arm, because I don't know if she's that flexible, but there are some people with these types of genetics here. So that's why I thought these things. Like, my niece can pop out her hip, right? And I have certain friends who can bend their fingers down and actually touch their wrist with it, or people who can put their thumbs behind their hands and all this other crazy stuff. So maybe I was thinking maybe it was just a genetic thing and she used it for the sake of getting a crowd reaction. But then I'm looking at the finish here. You know, I'm looking at how Alexa Bliss gave that DDT and ended the match off of the DDT because Becky Lynch because not Becky Lynch. Alexa Bliss, she was hurt. You also look at how her arm was, she was like, it was really awkward. She couldn't get the pin properly with it. So she used the other arm to hold her leg and stuff like that. You know, I always thought of that DDT getting being a signature more than a finisher, but you got to keep in mind here, hey, it made more sense than a roll up in my opinion. Um, what else could I say? Oh, hey, guess what? That's the first time in years that a DDT has actually finished off a title match. So hey, Bliss has a new finisher, I guess. But no. Anyway, there was just so much to cover in this match. So many mental notes I had in this match because there's just there was so much that happened in this match. Very eventful match, honestly, with the more than likely Eva Marie debuting. Um, anyway, after the match, that Daisha Fuentes girl goes up to Bliss. She's like, "Who do you think it could have been?" And she says Sasha Banks. And Daisha Fuentes says, "Well, that woman looked to be a little bit bigger than Sasha Banks." And then Bliss, sarcastically, she sarcastically said, "Oh, well, you're right. Maybe it was Nia Jax." And then she walked off. What a heel. I love that about Bliss, that she could just be as sarcastic as it is. Um. Anyway, Bliss. She walks off, and I noticed that she mentioned two Raw girls instead of a SmackDown girl. So I'm thinking maybe it's gonna be a Raw superstar. I mean, I could be wrong, but then I think like, what Raw superstar could it be? Because like I'm thinking Summer Rae, but you could see underneath the mask that she's a brunette. Clearly, Eva Marie has dyed her hair, and I'm thinking maybe Paige, but from the skin tone from her hands, from what I could see, it seemed too dark. So I'm thinking by process of elimination, it's probably going to be Eva Marie or maybe Emelina, who may have dyed her hair. And I could be wrong here, but hey, why the hell not? Because they have unfinished business, first off. Two, they've already dogged with her debut so many times here. And honestly, I just don't want to see the Emelina character come out. I want to see Emma return, but I don't want to see Emelina debut. For a lot of reasons here. Emelina, for one, I don't want to see debut because I know fans are just going to shit on it. I know fans are just going to be like, why the hell is she here? Why is she doing this gimmick over here? And eventually, they're just, not only that, but I can easily see creative just being like, you know what, she's not getting over. What are we going to do? And I honestly don't know if she can get this character over. But then again, there have been a lot of characters that I've seen, seemingly impossible to get over, but some superstars have made it work, aka Damien Sandow. You know, so honestly, I don't, I don't think, I don't think, it's Emelina, but I mean, if I'm thinking alternatives to Eva Marie, it's probably gonna be her. But alternatives to Eva Marie, like I said, those are the possible candidates. I could tell you, Emelina, and that's about it. Or maybe Alicia Fox. I don't know, but It's more than likely going to be Eva Marie. Uh, I don't know if it's going to be anyone else, but whatever. Whatever. So, next we get Renee Young talking to The Miz. She finally sees him. She knocks on the security-filled door, and the Miz and Maurice comes out, and she basically threatens Renee. And Miz comes out and says, "Hey, babe, let me handle this." Anyway, she asks the Miz one question. Miz starts talking up a storm, and we see Dean Ambrose is part of the security, and the rest of the security pretty much left. And anyway, Renee Young walks off randomly. The Miz turns around, and Dean Ambrose just charges at the Miz, and he attacks him. And security stops Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose just kicks the security's ass, literally kicks all their asses. And this led to the announcement that The Miz and Dean Ambrose are going to have an Intercontinental title match next week. There you go. Now, let's get into the triple threat match for the WWE title. Match of the night, in my opinion. And, wait. Okay, so I kind of glossed over this. So, we got the recap of last week. Nikki Bella and Natalya. I heard this promo was badass. I still have yet to check it out, but thankfully I got it recorded on my DVR, so I'll be sure to watch it whenever the hell I want. Anyway, Nikki Bella, she says, I was hired. I worked hard to get here, not because I looked good, or not because of my looks, and I'm listening to this. I'm just thinking, sure, Nikki, tell yourself that. And honestly, there's no hate towards Nikki Bella, but she was hired because of her looks. She got to where she was at because of her looks. Honestly, this is why I wish she was heel, so that shit like this would not be said. Anyway, yes, you know what? For those hardcore Nikki Bella fans, listen, she has improved from where she has gone, from where she started to where she has gone now. She has improved, from 2014 to 2016, she has gone so much better. Okay, I'll give credit where it's due. But when you look at Nikki Bella from 2009 to 2000 to when she came back in 2013, there was no change. She was still sloppy, she was still this, she was still that, but she busted her ass to get as good as she is now. And you know what? I'm going to acknowledge that. But do not sit here and lie to me and say that you were not hired because of your looks and it was because of your talent, because you, like most people, most of the women at the time, were hired because of your looks. And I'm not trying to be offensive here, but it's the truth. Call a spade a spade. Anyway, she says what she says, and that was kind of that. All right, let's get to the triple threat match. So we get the announcers announcing the names, and anyway, Baron Corbin, he looked pretty strong in this match, honestly. I don't know why Styles didn't get more offense on Corbin like he should have, in my opinion, but that's just me being nitpicky. It was a great match. Nothing other than that to complain about. Ziggler and Styles, made the big bad monster, had to work together to take down the big bad monster. And I don't have a problem with Corbin, but when it's just like the thing about Corbin and the thing about these large men or large women, large whatever, these large wrestlers in multi-man matches, they always have to be the strongest. And I'm not saying that strength-wise, but they always have to be the most unstoppable. Yeah, this was no exception where Corbin, had to get the most offense in on both, had to dominate most, and both the two smaller guys had to work together to take him down. Like, Baron Corbin, he looked a little too strong for how he did in this. Honestly, he's like Brock Lesnar, but the thing about this and Brock Lesnar, you look at what Brock Lesnar can do in the ring, not what he does do. What he can do in the ring, it makes sense for him to look as strong as he does. Baron Corbin, not so much, because the guy, he has limited moveset, for one. For two, he doesn't do much in the ring. And even tonight, he proved that his moveset was not big. But he can remain in control. And honestly, I think, Styles, who's a guy who's handled larger men, in New Japan, he's handled, big guys, and he's went toe to toe with the best of them. Guys better than Corbin. And the guy looks even stronger than Styles. He made Styles, look kind of weak. I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say Styles looked weak here. But Baron looked a little stronger than the main event champion. You know what I mean? And I don't think that should be the case. Now, anyway, so when I was seeing this, I was kind of hoping Styles would have won by pinning Baron Corbin in the match, but that didn't happen. He did get the phenomenal forearm on Corbin, which I thought was pretty cool. My favorite spot of the night was the end of days onto Styles, and Ziggler got the zigzag off of onto Corbin, and that was impressive, to say the least. That was very, very impressive. And honestly, man, it was a great showing. But again, other than Corbin looking insanely strong, like overpowered, I have no complaints. I also like that they had Styles and Ziggler work together. They even did a double splash onto the table. Now, honestly, if that table was, I would have been so surprised to see that table not break. I was thinking like that table might not break. I just thought that would have been pretty funny if the table didn't break. Well, anyway, it was a good match. It was a great match. 5 stars in my opinion. Uh, um, I was honestly surprised here because I thought um um I thought Ziggler was gonna go for the pin on Styles because nobody is kicked out of the end of days ever, right? So Ziggler, I thought he could have been smart, but then again he's the face, so why would he have that trait in him? Of course. Um, what else could I go into about this match? I don't know, man. It was just a good match. It was just a really good match. Yeah, yeah. I guess yeah. Not much else could be said about this match. Anyways, Cena comes out at the end. He takes off all of his clothes. Well, sorry, I made that sound really wrong again. He takes off his armband. He takes off his shirt. He takes off his hat. All this, I was thinking, okay, this is gonna get good. They're gonna brawl. Instead, he takes off his shirt and warms up to basically shake the guy's hand. They trash talk each other. And that was the end of the show. Overall, great SmackDown to end the year. I loved everything. Excellent 2016. Happy New Year's, guys, by the way. Apologize in advance if I haven't said that yet. A+ show this week definitely goes to SmackDown in my opinion, and only with 3 matches too. So that tells you that's a good show. So definitely recommend that you guys go watch this SmackDown if you haven't already. So, all right, I'm Eduardo Bagincourt. I'm out. Good night, you guys.